What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Spring Fever. As always, it's me, XFL Jim, joined by the one, the only. It is Uncle Rico. What's up, Eric?
What's up, my friend? How are you doing this lovely Wednesday evening?
Doing great. We just had a couple great weeks of CFL action. We had the X League started last weekend. I didn't stream any, but I did catch a couple of the games late at night, just kind of pondering existence. That's the perfect time to watch X League, is when Eric, like, I don't know about you, but when you have to have late nights, you kind of hit like a wall, and then when you break through the wall at around like 2:30, 3 o'clock, you kind of feel more awake then than you did at 11 p.m.
That's my life. I don't sleep, dude. Like, I try to sleep,
perfect
but I
time
don't.
to watch the X League at like 2:30 in the morning, where you're more awake at that part of night where no one else is awake. It's the perfect time to watch Japanese football, in my opinion.
Okay.
Wouldn't have it any other way. We got a nice show ready for you guys. We're going to break down a little bit of last week's CFL action. Obviously, we're going to talk X League at the end of the show. And then we're going to give you some CFL picks for, Eric, what week is it?
15.
Yeah, we're already at week 15. The season is rapidly coming to an end. Eric, 5, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We only got 6 weeks left.
That is crazy.
And then we're already in the playoffs. Speaking of which, I do believe we have to shout out Winnipeg and Toronto, both locked into the playoffs this weekend.
Yep.
Both got locked in. They're kind of, I would say, sort of separating themselves. We'll get to that with our power rankings in a little bit, but let's just go game by game, starting with the one I think this was our best prediction of the weekend. Hamilton Tiger Cats 27, Ottawa Red Blacks 24. I think we called it, right? You and me kind of like shot our shot with this one.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Crum's back there, I'm not the biggest Crum guy. I think that they're just a fade anytime they're a favorite. When they're a dog, they're a little bit interesting to me if they're getting a bigger number. But anything as a favorite, them winning with margin, I'm just not about. Hamilton's that team that for me, it's just kind of,
I don't know what to think of this team.
You don't.
Like, Taylor Powell looked good this game, but also it's Ottawa, so who knows? They have weapons. I don't know with Hamilton. I don't have a ton of faith in this team right now. But anything can happen. The playoffs are still kind of wide open. I don't know.
Hamilton
I don't expect much out of them.
That's a little bit dangerous in my eyes.
They could be. They could be like frightening, but I don't know if I'm worried for any of the like big punchers, so to speak, against a team like Hamilton. Like, I don't think if I'm the Blue Bombers, you worry about the Hamilton Tiger Cats right now.
But in a one-game situation, weird shit happens.
Weird shit does happen, and Hamilton seems to be embracing the weird shit. Ottawa, in my opinion, is the same as yours. I think with Crum, they're an interesting dog in spots, but I just don't trust this team at all.
Yep. Agree 100%, my friend.
Game number 2, Montreal Alouettes 10, Toronto Argonauts 39. Eric, I am done betting Montreal in the games against like Toronto or Winnipeg or BC. They just don't step up to those games.
They can't hang with the big boys.
They do not step up to those games. They really are the epitome of the benchmark team where they could beat the bad ones. But damn it, the offensive line is not great. Cody Fajardo is fine. He looks pretty good back there, but they just can't hang with these big boys. And Toronto just laid it on them.
It was 20-7 at the end of one.
Like, what do you do after that?
And then Montreal, 3 fumbles lost, 9 penalties for 109 yards. 1 of 3 in the red zone, only 2 tackles for a loss, no sacks. It was just brutal. It's just bad. 11 rushes for 24 yards.
Not great.
I mean, look, running isn't as big at this level, but in this league, excuse me, but the Argo still had 29 rushes for 135.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. You just can't trust Montreal against these top tier teams.
I'm standing by that. Okay. The big one. Saskatchewan Roughriders 6, Winnipeg Blue Bombers 51. Eric, your favorite football player got some play in this game.
My favorite football, Dan Lefevre.
All Shea Patterson.
Oh,
All International Man of Mystery got a little play in this game. The Rough Riders are kind of like, we were talking about them last week. They're an interesting team. We were kind of hyped on them a little bit. I didn't want to touch this game when we talked about betting. Trevor Harris is still hurt. Dolagala has looked decent in spots. I still think Saskatchewan's a feisty team. This is not a super anomaly because this kind of happens a lot when they play the Bombers.
Mm-hmm.
I think anytime, if you're a Saskatchewan Roughriders fan or just someone who's backing them, anytime you see the name Shea Patterson come up on a screen anywhere involving this team, it's probably a negative.
That would be the nicest thing you've ever said.
It's a bad sign.
If I'm a fan and I see Shane Patterson's name, I'm getting a little worried.
USFL legend Shea Patterson. At least put some respect. You could either call him USFL legend, you can call him CFL legend now, or you can call him, I like to call him International Man of Mystery. Because I believe Shea also spent like a cup of coffee in the X League. So he's been all over.
Can we just call him a shitty quarterback?
You could call him that. I will call him USFL legend shit quarterback Shea Patterson.
USFL legend. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Zach Collaros with his typical 18 for 21, 319 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Five touchdowns. Oh, my God. So they lost by how many points? 45?
They lost by 45 points. It wasn't close at any point in the game. Didn't score a single point in the second half. This was just utter domination. The Bombers saw what happened last week, the week prior, and was like, nah,
just not it. You're not that guy, bro.
340 passing yards of the Bombers to 139 of the Riders, 263 to 84 rushing. Like, what are we doing here?
Call a spade, dude. It was just a fucking beatdown, man.
The Bombers went 15 for 15 on first downs.
It's just a fucking beatdown, man.
This was a drubbing. Last game, Calgary Stampeders 23, Edmonton Elks 25. Eric, in an Elks comeback, the Elks were down at halftime, 17-7. And they come back in the fourth quarter.
Our little baby Elks all growing up.
This team, dude, 18 unanswered points in the fourth quarter is something you never expect out of an Elks game. At all.
Yeah.
And they did it on the ground.
Yeah. I think this is a team that is going to be interesting to bet. I like this team a lot. I think it's a team we can look to bet. I think they're looking to fight.
250 to 1 for the Grey Cup.
I'm not gonna say that, man, but like to do something to like make the playoffs. You know what I mean? To make the playoffs, I think they're an interesting little team, dude. You know, to fuck around and somehow sneak into the playoffs.
Okay, let's take a look. I'm gonna see if I can find some CFL playoff scenarios. Let's see. The CFL website's playoff scenarios. So obviously the Bombers and the Argos are eyeing up each division like championship.
Correct.
So this is this week, Eric. I believe this is updated as of this week. In the West Division, no team can clinch playoff spots this week. So, obviously, I believe the Bombers already have it. East Division, Toronto win. Toronto wins the East Division.
Okay. Jesus. Okay.
Hamilton loses. Toronto clinches a home playoff spot.
Okay.
That's it right now. No other team is like vying for playoff at all.
And what are the standings in the West?
The standings right now in the West, they're not. I mean, okay, they're not very far behind. It's Winnipeg, obviously at 10-3,
Yeah.
BC at 8-4, Rough Riders sitting at 6-6, Calgary at 4-9, and then Edmonton at 3-10.
I'm telling you, man, they're right there. You know what I mean? Stranger shit has happened.
So we look at the schedule. What is it? The 3 teams get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they really just they need Saskatchewan to kind of fall down a lot. They either need Saskatchewan to fall or Edmonton or Hamilton to just like super tank.
Which is possible, dude.
It's
This is a
possible.
weird
I don't.
league.
It is weird. They would need Saskatchewan to have a really bad latter half of the season, and let's take a look at who do the Rough Riders play going out. So obviously this week they play each other this week, so this is a massive game for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Then Edmonton has to play BC. Riders get Red Blacks. Then the Riders have to play BC. Edmonton then has to play. Ooh, this is tough for Edmonton. So Edmonton's next games: Saskatchewan, hosting BC, at Toronto, hosting Montreal, at Winnipeg.
But I mean, at that point of the season, Winnipeg's going to be locked up.
Winnipeg's locked up, but they're not locked into the top spot yet.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Saskatchewan for the rest of the season, obviously they host Edmonton, at Ottawa, at BC, host Hamilton, at Calgary, and then at Toronto. Sorry, host Toronto. I would say Edmonton has the harder schedule. So basically, if Edmonton makes the playoffs, they definitely deserved it, and I will be betting them because they will be red hot.
Get hot, stay hot, Jimbo.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be. I'm worried, Eric, that's just going to be just like last year, where Edmonton just looks good the latter half of the season and is feisty in a bunch of games.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to continue betting them as dogs.
And that's how we're going to make our money, Jimbo.
And that's how we're going to do that, which leads us, Eric, into this coming week. Game number 1, Friday evening. No Thursday games this week. Friday evening. Holy shit, Eric. What time do you think this game is?
Friday night?
Oh, my God. What? Oh, it's in
6?
Toronto. It's in Montreal.
It's 6,
This game, it's at 6. Why is... So, shout out Bet Online for saying that it's at 11.
You're probably in like some weird time zone, dude.
I'm definitely not. Definitely not. Also, there's 2 games Friday. I don't know what the fuck they're smoking here at Bet Online, but Friday, 6. Toronto Argonauts at the Montreal Alouettes. Argos are 6.5-point road favorites, over under 53, plus 225 on the money line. They're running it back another week, Eric.
I mean, I'll be honest, dude. I kind of want to take Montreal.
My intuition, I just said I was staying away from it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay away from it. What I'm going to do here, though, I'm going to bet the under 53.
Why?
Because I think it's going to be kind of an ugly game.
Okay.
I think Montreal's going to try and ugly it up. And like I said, Toronto has a ton of pressure on them. I think they're okay with the pressure, but I think it gets ugly. And I think we get a little low-scoring affair.
Okay.
I'm just going to play the under.
Okay. Okay.
Game number 2.
I'm probably going
you
to
have
stay
anything
away.
in this one?
I'm probably going to stay
smart
away.
to stay away. Probably smart to stay away. Edmonton Elks at the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Rough Riders are -3 at home. Over under of 46.5 plus 130 on the money line for the Elks.
Give me the Elks, baby.
Yeah, give me the Elks.
I looked at it because in the NFL, there's this big trend where if after you get your ass kicked, the following week you bet them. That's not the case in the CFL. It's about everything's about even.
Yeah.
So I'd like the Elks here. I think they're kind of peaking at the right time. They're hot last season to close it. I'll take Elk Nation, dude.
Give me Elks here as well. Bombers, Ticats. Winnipeg Blue Bombers -6.5 at the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Over under 48. Plus 225 on the money line for the Ticats.
I mean, dude. To me, this is just a rude move away. Move on.
If anything, I lean towards Winnipeg because I just don't trust Hamilton, but probably staying away. I'm probably staying away from a lot this week. I'm learning from you, Uncle Rico. Ottawa
Sometimes
Red Blacks.
It's no bet.
Ottawa Red Blacks, BC Lions. Lions are -9.5 with an over-under of 46.5, plus 360 on the money line for the Red Blacks. Gross.
To me, this is just a stay away. You know what I mean? Like sometimes there's just games that just weeks that are just rough. And to me, this is just a rough week. I don't want anything to do with this game. I would probably lean to the over. I think there could be some points put up in this one, but I'm not betting it.
Okay, I changed one of my bets, so I'm not betting the Montreal-Toronto game at all. Not touching that one. I am switching a bet. I am going to be betting the Winnipeg and Hamilton game. Give me over 48.
Look at you, Jimbo.
I think this can get weird and get pointsy. Give me over 48 in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Hamilton Ticats, and obviously we're both on the Elks +3.
Yep.
I'm not going to sprinkle the money line.
Soft, Jimbo.
I mean, if the Elks are down at half, I think that might be a good live bet. Who knows? But those are my two bets, Eric.
Okay. Yeah.
Other bit of news going on. There's not really any XFL news or USFL news. There's some XFL news, so it looks like they're trying to change the payment system for the assistant coaches to seasonal.
Okay.
Which I believe is I think that's how the USFL does it.
So what is exactly does that mean?
So they're getting paid like a yearly salary right now.
Okay.
They're going to try and change that to seasonal so that they get paid for like when the season's live.
So how much do they get paid a year?
XFL assistant coach's salary. Let's see. Who knows what these sources are? This is salary.com, says between 40,000 and 67,000.
So you get so that 40,000 instead of being distributed by the year, it's going to be paid by the season.
It could be cut a little bit. I'm not exactly sure. It's not super. I think I don't know how much has been like actually shown to people.
Okay.
So like all the assistant coaches 1-year contracts expired recently.
Okay.
So they're going to go to seasonal contracts. So I'm thinking it's probably just like a way to save some money.
Okay.
I'm surprised that like the assistant coaches weren't already seasonal.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the USFL does the same model. So it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I like it.
On that, NFL doing a little international move. They're adding a little addendum to their international policy. It looks like starting in 2024, all practice squads of the NFL are going to be having an international player, at least one of them.
I like it. Opens it up. Gonna get some people probably from Europe over, maybe some Canadian players over. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I love that move. I feel like the NFL is slowly trying to make the brand a little bit more global.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good move. Playing over in Germany, in London, and all that. I like it. They're kind of like following the CFL in that regard. And if some of these players in like Europe and Asia and wherever can get practice squad money, why the hell not?
Yeah, that's huge, dude. Practice. People don't realize how much practice squad players make.
What do they make? How much do they make? 12,000 per week.
Which is pretty good.
That's the starting, so.
Which is pretty good.
And veteran players with 2 years of experience will make a minimum of 16,100 per week. So if you're on the practice squad for 18 weeks, that's $216,000, by the way.
Which is insane.
Not bad. That's not bad at all.
I mean, it's really, really, really not bad.
How interesting will it be if, say, 8 years from now, as a hypothetical, and the XFL and USFL can pay like hundreds of thousands of dollars for players? Could you see people doing XFL/USFL and a practice squad, and you're making like $400,000 for the year?
Yeah, you could.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
That ain't bad.
That's not bad, dude. That's not bad at all.
Eric, last but not least, we have some X League to talk about. We had a couple games last week. So they're still doing the thing where they're playing every other week.
Yeah.
So last week was the opening for the X League. Started off with Fujitsu versus Elecom. Obviously, Fujitsu wins this one pretty easily, 31-14.
No surprise.
No surprise there. Nojima, Sajimahira, and Panasonic. Obviously, Panasonic win this one pretty easily, 30-10.
Yeah.
No surprise.
No surprise at all.
Tokyo Gas, Asahi Beverages. Beverages clinch it out 17-13. Close game, exciting game. Yep. Dentsu Caterpillars, Obik Seagulls. Obik wins this one going away 38-3. I think we kind of have a theme with the X League. There are 3 teams that are just way above everybody else.
Yeah, night and day above everybody else.
So I was listening to a podcast last week, Eric, previewing some of these games with our buddy, you know the buddy.
JB?
It's BJ, baby.
BJ.
So Fujitsu in particular, I believe since 2012 has only lost to either Panasonic or Obik.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this kind of like this is when you're talking about the X League, there's a very strict tier space, and it's Fujitsu, Panasonic, and Obik, and then everybody else.
Literally everybody else.
Everybody. IBM versus who the? Oh, the Suns, the Fukuoka Suns. They just changed the name there. IBM wins this one 46-28. And then our Deers lose to the Asahi Beer 24-28.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaker. Week 2 is coming up in 2 weeks. So set your calendars, folks. Saturday, September 23rd. But actually, for us, it's September 22nd. Let me see. When is 1:30 p.m. in Tokyo? It would be 11:30 p.m. for you and me, Eric, is when the game will start.
past my bedtime.
2 weeks from Friday. 2 weeks from Friday. Be prepared. Everyone be prepared. Any parting shots, Eric, on the Spring Fever?
No, man, let's make some money. Let's cash some tickets. Let's hope the Elks shock the world.
I hope they do. Shout out to all players getting signed to practice squads. I would love if the Jets go after Nathan Rourke. I just want to let that be known. I would love to see that. I hope it happens. I know it won't, but I wish it would. Shout out to everyone getting practice squad money. Shout out to everyone coming back next year. And we'll see you guys next week for another episode of Spring Fever. Bye-bye.